were able to get off on this offense because Terry draws attention. They need Terry McLaurin. Y'all can act as if y'all can be so pro Burgundy and gold all you want. For you to act as if this team doesn't need Terry McLaurin, you're tripping. They need him. Point blank, he needs them too because Jaden Daniels ain't everywhere, and they can send him to Siberia, and then what would he do? If they told Terry McLaurin, what's the worst situation right now in football? Cleveland? The Browns? What if they tell Terry McLaurin, yeah, we're sending you to Cleveland? Bye. You can get your money, though, but you're going to Cleveland, a place in which you don't have a quarterback, and you're not going to be able to put up numbers. That's the only leverage that I think Washington has. Because realistically speaking, I'm out there each and every day at camp. This offense, in terms of the receivers minus Terry, outside of Terry, they're struggling. They're struggling to push the ball vertically. They're struggling to make contested catches and get separation on the perimeter. They need him from a football standpoint, 100%. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. Let's go to Brian in Bristol. Let's chime in. What's up, Brian?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Thank you for taking my call, man. I'm not too happy right now.
I understand why. Let us know, though.
They have to pay the man. He has been here since we have been his day one, and if he can put up 1,000 yards each season with Taylor Heineke and some guy that picked off the couch, and now he has Jaden Daniels, he could put up historic numbers. But if they don't want to pay him, what's going on here? I want to know. There's got to be something that us as fans don't know, and it's starting to make me a bit mad.
I totally agree with you, Brian. I think there's more to this situation that's being reported. Of course, I keep going back to the pup list thing. Why did they? And this is where us as media members, we got to walk a fine line because I don't want to question the integrity of the organization by saying he's not hurt, so putting him on pup is kind of like a formality. They can get in big trouble for that, placing a guy on pup and he's not actually hurt. But for them to put him on pup, that was them doing Terry McLaurin a favor. He's not going to be subject to fines. You gonna put him on pup. He didn't see him too hurt when he was out there during the OTAs, right before he decided to pick up his ball and go home. He wasn't hurt. So my thing is this. I keep telling you all, if he starts the season on pup, he's got to miss at least the first 4 weeks. Then if I'm Terry, why would you not want this to drag the rest of the year? You don't want that to happen because you won't play. If Terry forces their hand and just doesn't show up, will they cave and trade him? I would think so. But then again, I don't know. I keep going back to Brandon Ayuk and Myles Garrett and Lamar Jackson and all these other, high-profile, high-stakes negotiations that have happened over the past several years, and ultimately the player don't get traded. They don't. They end up getting the money they were looking for, or the two sides are able to come to some sort of agreement where the player shows up and gets on the football field. My gut feel says this situation between Terry and Washington, it's not a foregone conclusion that they just don't cave in on his trade request and let him sulk and then they get the deal done. I think all possibilities, all scenarios, all outcomes are on the table right now. I can see them trading him. I can see them finding, an extension still. But to me, I reiterated for 3.5 hours last night, say what you want about this situation. The Washington Commanders need Terry McLaurin more than Terry McLaurin needs the Washington Commanders, in my opinion. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. If you're just tapping in with us, breaking news here on the top of the show, here into the fan. According to Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports, it was confirmed by Adam Schefter of ESPN. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin has officially requested a trade. Are you mad? Are you happy? Do you get it? Whose side are you on here when it comes to Terry McLaurin versus the Washington Commanders? Your call's next here on the Fan. The bottom line is this. The Commanders, I can't think of really one legitimate reason as to why the Commanders would want to trade Terry McLaurin. Unless the relationship's just gotten that sour and he's now a distraction to your building, I don't think they're inclined to make a move. I don't. He's under contract for this year, and they can franchise tag him at season's end. So, from a leverage standpoint, the Commanders have most of the leverage here, but the leverage that I think Terry McLaurin has is this wide receiver group, minus Terry McLaurin, is average to below average at best. So that's why he's got leverage. That's why I think they're inclined to get something done. But I think, and I've said this for the past couple of weeks, that this had a chance to get ugly. This had a chance to get nasty. And it's happening right now. 1-800-636-1067. Terry McLaurin has officially requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. Your reaction? Are you upset? Do you understand where Terry's coming from? Do you agree with Adam Peters and company that, look, they should stick to their gun? Like I said at the top of the show, this is an analytics-driven organization from the top down. They go by what their numbers say. And right now their numbers say that Terry McLaurin ain't worth the money he's asking for. And they're not budging. And neither is McLaurin. So now we're here. An official trade request has been put in. And I do want to apologize to Buddy Baker and Terry McLaurin. Metal Chris, remember I said, well, why are you requesting a trade at 7 o'clock at night? This is actually chess, not checkers. We're getting ready to have a nationally televised, our first NFL game of the season is getting ready to get televised. You think they're going to be talking about Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker? Or are they going to be talking about Terry McLaurin in this trade request?
I was wondering if it had to do with the baseball deadline. Like they wanted to make sure they didn't break it before that in case there was big news that happened at the deadline with that also. So like they wanted to make sure if there's some big name, whatever. So
yeah, this is all just fascinating to me. We'll get back to the phones here. Let's go to Will, 97 southbound. Wants to chime in. What's up, Will?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing today, bud?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not too bad. So honestly, I mean, my take on it, it's pretty much this. He's finally got a quarterback, JD5, man. So honestly, if he wants to, he's one game away from a championship. When was the last time he's ever had anything that kind of experience? He hasn't. So take the 2-year deal if you can, if that's what the rule is, fully guaranteed, and see what happens the next 2 seasons.
Well, we appreciate the call as always, man. The phone was crapping out there on us. Let's go to CJ in DC. Wants to chime in. What's up, CJ?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Hey, look, you somebody to tap in with me every damn night I'm on here. We've been calling this for about a month, haven't we?
Man, I'm trying to tell you, I knew where it was going, but see, this is the deal you got to understand, right? The thing I respect about this management group, they're not fans. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they have all this, what he did for the organization and his place and his vibe. Listen, you have to understand, there's probably 10 people in that building that was there before, that was there with Terry before these folks took over. That's number one. Number two, you're not a top 5 receiver. And I told you last week the comp was going to get hard comparing him because of that, and the comp being with JD to the other quarterbacks of his caliber. They don't feel they need a $33, $35 million quarterback to do what they got to get done. It doesn't work like that. And you talk about analytics. Terry was, number 15, 16 in receiving last year. There's 3 tight ends with more receiving yards than him.
But he was second in the NFL in touchdown receptions, brother. And he scored he scored in every playoff game.
Listen here. That was because we had these methodical drives getting down the field. That's fine. We didn't get down the field solely because of Terry.
But look, CJ, I'm gonna let you keep going, brother. But I'm a solo radio artist here. I got to play both sides of it here. Terry McLaurin is this team's explosive play threat. You think about the chunk plays that they generated last year. It was because of Terry McLaurin. Think about how many 16-play drives we saw last year. Terry McLaurin makes this thing go. They're a totally different unit without him offensively. I'm a fan first, you know that. But I could be realistic about it. They need him.
So let me ask you this. How many games did we win when Terry had under 30 yards or 40 yards receiving?
He also played one of the softest schedules in the National Football League last year.
That's just being real, and that's on both sides. So when you're trying to make these comparisons to say, I deserve 35, 30, whatever the number is, you have to be able to relate that in reality. I don't think that's what the number is. We don't know what the number is, but I don't see him as a 33, 35. I've been telling you for weeks now. 30, 31 and a half. I see that fully guaranteed.
And CJ, and we appreciate you, CJ. It looks like based off of what's being reported, they're not willing to go over $30 million at all. I think their best offer, if it even gets there, will be a deal that pays him $26 to $28 million annually. They're not using the DK Metcalf deal as a framework for this negotiation. They're not. If they were, he would have been paid already. They're looking at Mike Evans. They're looking at the Cortland Sutton deal that just came out. That's the type of bag they're comfortable giving out to Terry McLaurin. And because of that, Terry McLaurin requesting a trade. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. Terry McLaurin requesting a trade out of the nation's capital. Will the Commanders honor this trade, or is this just a formality in the negotiation? Your call's next.
Watch on. Is it about time to get the Terry deal done? Where are we at?
Ooh, good question.
Where are we on the Terry
We love
clock?
Terry. Love Terry, and we've had some really good conversations with his representatives. We're going to keep those in-house, Kay. That's what Sean told me to say.
I'm reading the body language, though. I don't know how you're feeling good. It's trending in a positive direction.
But we really, we want to make Terry commander for a long time.
Watch on. Is it about time to get the Terry deal done?
Commanders General Manager Adam Peters back on March the 31st on Up and Adams with Kay Adams saying we want to make Terry McLaurin a commander for a very, very long time. Well, Terry McLaurin, according to his actions from about an hour ago, doesn't want to be a commander for a very, very long time if they're not going to pay him. We tapped into the youngest in Charles Lynnell Willingham here on this Thursday night edition of Overtime. We'll take you up to 10 o'clock. Breaking news here into the Fan. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin has requested a trade from the franchise. One, do you think the team is actually thinking about trading Terry McLaurin, or do you think this is a part of the negotiation? I want to give you all some nuggets here because this is a situation to me where Terry's doing what Terry feels he has to do. This is another attempt by Terry McLaurin to get the attention of the organization, to show them, hey, I'm serious. I know I'm here in the building. I don't want to be, but I'm doing it for my teammates, not for you. And to me, where things currently sit, like we keep saying, the Commanders have no reason to trade Terry McLaurin. They want to win now. Trading Terry McLaurin does not make you better for the 2025 season. And based off of the moves they made this offseason, trading for Deebo Samuel, trading for Laramie Tunsil, it's all about 2025. To me, man, look at the other situations around the NFL. I'm not trying to make this about me or pat myself on the back at all. I've been telling you all this for the past 2-3 weeks, that this was a real possibility. That this was a real possibility. T. Higgins asked for a trade last year. He's still on the Bengals and got a new contract. Brandon Ayuk requested a trade last offseason. He's still in San Francisco, and he's got new money. And think about how nasty the Ayuk thing got. He was, getting practice film sent to him from Jaden Daniels. We had a report from multiple different folks in Pittsburgh saying, a deal was in place to send him to the Steelers. It ultimately didn't happen, and now it's water under the bridge. Will that be the case with Terry McLaurin, or do you see the Washington Commanders actually trading him? 1-800-636-1067 is the number. Let's go to Matt in Potomac. What's the chime in? What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's going on, Lynnell?
How you doing, man? This is I'm beside myself.
Yeah, man. Look, I've been a fan. I'm a young guy. I've been a fan for quite some time. But like you said, look, we got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins. This is just a big smoke screen. He's going to get paid, man. He's going to be a commander for life. So I'm not too stressed. Yeah, it sucks that we hear this news, but I'm not too stressed, man. I'll be real with you.
So I mostly agree with what you're saying. My thing is this, though, man. I get to watch this team each and every day on the practice field. They need him bad, Matt. This offense will not be the same group that we saw last year without Terry McLaurin. And when you think about the schedule now being more difficult, we asked this question last night we got a bunch of calls. We had full lines for damn near the whole show. I don't think they're a playoff team without Terry McLaurin. I just don't. And I'm not trying to overreact, but he has such a massive impact on this offense. He makes life so much easier for the quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And that's where my frustration is. As a fan, that's where my frustration is. Shouldn't everything moving forward be about doing what's best for Jaden Daniels? Trading Terry McLaurin is not best for Jaden Daniels. Having a disgruntled Terry McLaurin is not what's best for Jaden Daniels. Now, I want to play devil's advocate here one more time. If you're Cliff Kingsbury, if you're Adam Peters, if you're Dan Quinn, internally, is your chest puffed out? And do you feel like we can manufacture offense with or without Terry McLaurin? Because I think that is a thought amongst the folks in that building right now. It's got to be. Because they're moving with zero urgency at all. And they haven't for quite some time. When you hear that the two sides haven't spoken over a month and a half, I know Buddy Baker is there. I know Terry's there. The conversations aren't happening to me. I don't think they are, or else Terry wouldn't have requested a trade. Or there are conversations happening, and they're just lowballing the hell out of him, and this was Terry McLaurin's reaction. But I do want to give, some kudos to Buddy Baker and Terry McLaurin. This was brilliant. I gave him a lot of crap for doing the Eastern's Automotive thing. Because, Terry, you're from Indianapolis, man. If you really want to get your point across to the public and show people how pissed you were, why didn't you just go on the Pat McAfee show? Right? Why didn't you just go on the Pat McAfee show and tell the entire world that you're upset? Your reach would have been much further. This is a gangster move by Buddy Baker and company. Wait until 7 o'clock, an hour after the Major League Baseball trade deadline's passed. And, guess what's on Channel 4 right now, locally across the country? The Hall of Fame game. You think they're going to be talking about Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker or Terry McLaurin's trade request? You better ask somebody. 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Jupe in West Virginia. What's chime in? What's up, Jupe?
What's going on, Lynnell? Hey, listen, I made a statement to my buddy earlier. Of all these years we've been in this trash, I'm calling it the trash eras, right? I've been battling, debating, arguing with fans of other teams. Never thought I'd have to do that against fans of my own team. The Terry slander needs to stop. The Terry disrespect needs to stop. Nobody was singing none of this, trade him up straight up for T. Higgins, and nobody was singing that tune prior to this year. With that being said, I don't care about none of that, what they saying. At the end of the day, what is the number one thing with Terry? He's dependable. He's available. T. Higgins is often injured. And on top of that, I'm going to try to end it with some positive notes. Like you said, we got examples of T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, T. Higgins, Ayuk. Like, they all requested trades, and they end up getting paid. So in my mind, until it actually happens, I still think a trade is going to get done. And my second positive note, can you imagine, like, finally, Terry will have a stud number 2 receiver in Deebo Samuels. We got the emergence of Jalen Lane, year 2 of Timothy Daniels. As fans, we want to see what that offense is going to look like on the field.
You talk about language, Jupe.
I'm quite sure the front office wants to see Cliff. Cliff wants to see it. That whole team wants to see what that's going to look like. So I still think it's going to get done, my guy.
Hey, I appreciate you as always, Jupe. I think, like we've continued to reiterate, right when the news broke, I kind of felt like, hey, this is a formality because, like, they don't have any motivation to actually trade him. Like, I keep going back to that. We've seen this with T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Myles Garrett, Lamar Jackson. Like, when guys are disgruntled, they request a trade. Doesn't mean the team has to trade them. Let's go to Crank in D.C. What's chime in? What's up, Crank?
Lynnell, what's up, bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, look, man, a couple things, right? First of all, do I want to trade Terry? No. Would I be mad if Terry got paid? Absolutely not. Would I be mad if we didn't pay Terry? Absolutely not. Like, I don't really clock people money. What I do know is Terry has another year left on his deal. And if Terry really, here's the thing, man. You can go out there, you can ball out this year. You can get franchise tag next year. And then you can get franchise tag the year after that and get paid as much money as whatever the franchise tag may be. And you'll be well off. And then by that, that third year, you can't franchise him no more. But he'll be, 33 years old? So any way you look at it, it's a win-win for both of them. I don't want to say he's a distraction because I feel like the team loves Terry. But I feel like the way he is moving is kind of odd for Terry McLaurin. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he kind of reminds me of, he's a little bit more vocal than Santana Moss, but he reminds me of Santana Moss. Santana didn't really cause a lot of problems, but Santana, and it was one point when Santana wanted to get paid. And he ain't really go about it like this. So I feel like, I don't know if it's his agent, but this doesn't really seem like a Terry McLaurin move. Now, I know the game is coming on tonight, and he's going to make national headlines and all that. But it's something seems odd about this. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I think they get it done. But to answer your question, do I want to trade Terry? Absolutely not. But would I be upset if we did, and especially if we got, I don't know, let's say a first and a six or something like that for Terry McLaurin? I wouldn't be mad at all because I feel like they'd make some good picks off the trade. But I don't know, man. It's a weird situation. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm listening to you. I'm trying to gather my thoughts and trying to figure out what's
brother. I'm
going
trying
on.
to do it in real time, man. But we appreciate you as always, man. 1-800-636 1067. More of your calls next on the breaking news that we got here into the Fan to start overtime. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin has requested a trade. Your reaction next. One 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. You're tapped into the youngest of Charles Lynnell Willingham, taking you up to 10 o'clock here on this Thursday night edition of Overtime. We got the Hall of Fame game getting ready to kick off. But we got bigger things and bigger scores to settle. Breaking news right off of the top of the show. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin officially requesting a trade. I'm stunned. See, I'm stunned, but I'm not. Right? Because I've been hinting at this being a legitimate possibility for a while now. The fact that it's actually happened lets me know exactly where the things stand between these two sides. They're both dug in. And I think the gap has to be super significant in order for Terry McLaurin to request a trade. But in this situation, are you team Terry or are you team Commanders? First of all, do you think Washington would actually do it? Everything that I've heard, everything that we continue to hear is that Washington is not interested in trading Terry McLaurin. And all of us as fans understand why that's the case. Why would they want to move on from Terry? They know what life is like offensively without him. They've watched the first 7 practices of training camp. I think this group would struggle to function despite having Jaden Daniels under center. Terry makes life easier for everyone. He just does. So not having him is a major detriment to the team and, most importantly to me, the quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Because that's what this is supposed to be all about right now. That's why we've got so much optimism. That's why we feel like moving forward, things are peachy. Because we finally got a quarterback. But is Jaden Daniels capable of being Jaden Daniels without Terry McLaurin? That's the question here. And for all of you out there that keep saying, look at all the games in which Terry McLaurin didn't produce. Look at all the games in which Terry McLaurin didn't put up numbers. You know why that didn't happen? Because Terry McLaurin got double-teamed. Terry McLaurin was bracketed. He draws so much attention from opposing defenses. As a matter of fact, he's the only skill guy on this team that draws any attention from opposing defenses. So you bet your ass it would look a hell of a lot different if Terry McLaurin was not here in D.C. 1-800-636-1067. Jim is in Tyson's. What's chime in? What's going on, Jim?
Hey, Lynnell, I love your show, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
I actually called in a week ago. You posed a question about what people thought about him coming back to camp, and I listened to you very carefully, and I called in and I said, one, it's obviously he doesn't want to get fined, but two, that he also might set himself up to be traded for teams to see that he was a good soldier and he was out there and he was participating. And when I got in my car coming from work and I heard you talking at the break, I'm absolutely stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. And one thing you said, which I 100% agreed with, which was the offer for Terry needed to start with a 3. And I mean, I'm not talking 37, but I think this one should have started at 30, 3 years, whatever you want to do. I'm not a pro or expert on this, but to me, this is a really bad reflection on Peters and the new team. I think from my perspective, you're trying to turn around something that's been a joke. And sure, you've got Jaden Daniels, and that's the thing. You didn't have Jaden Daniels, you just couldn't do this. You just absolutely couldn't do this. And I agree 100%. If there's no Terry McLaurin, we can have 2 great draft picks. We're going to get shredded this year with the receivers we have.
Yeah. Like, Jim, you're hitting it right on the head, and I appreciate the call, brother. We got a lot more to get to. That's my whole thing with all of this, man. I just, and it's no slight to any of the other wide receivers. It's no slight to Jaden Daniels. I just feel like this offense would struggle significantly. Significantly. It would look drastically different if they didn't have Terry McLaurin in the fold, man. I understand that y'all feel like he's not a top 10 wide receiver, or there's an argument to be made that he's not, an elite wideout. But he matters to this outfit. He matters to this organization. You know why? Because they don't have anybody else, in this receiving room that puts the fear of God in other defenses. They don't. Who's going to take the top off if it's not for Terry? That's the thing, right? We talk about this West Coast air raid system that they run. Bringing Debo here, I think you minimize Debo's impact if you don't have Terry here. Because guess what? Terry McLaurin draws attention deep. That gives Debo Samuel and Jalen Lane and Austin Eckler the room to work underneath. If they don't have a legitimate deep threat the team's got a game plan for, this offense is going to continue to look clunky. Let's go to Drew in D.C. What's up, Drew?
What's up, Lynnell? What's happening, man?
What's
Appreciate
going on,
it,
brother?
man. Y'all doing a hell of a job. Well, I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon, man. I just say, I see what both sides are talking about, but I understand with Terry looking at, I've been a healthy cat for the last 6 years, haven't missed no games. He's looking at what he's poured into the organization. And as a fan, we're looking at it from the same way. But also, I agree with like what you say, with this offense, with Terry, this offense, fits around Terry. And the reason why the offense is not looking good in the preseason is because Jayden Daniels won't go over on new targets. So his comfortability will be with Terry, then the other guys can come along. But also, I say, I'm not really worried about it either, man, because like I said, all of this was a timing with all this coming out. Because like I said, Adam Peters, he was shrewd with the guys out in San Francisco when the big guys got to get paid, like, Trent Williams and all of them when they was out there when they got paid. So he's going to get paid, man. I think they're going to come at a happy medium. I don't think it's so much about the 33 and the 34. I just think it's more about the guaranteed money, man. Keep up the good work, man. Stay blessed.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother, man. 1-800-636-1067. Quick side note, not to distract from the what's going on. I'm like, my itch is being scratched. We're getting ready to have kickoff happen. Football is back, people. And there's a fumble on the opening damn kickoff. Welcome to the 2025 NFL season. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. Breaking news here into the Fan. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin officially requesting a trade. What's your reaction to this? 1-800-636-1067. I want to let you all hear a longer cut here. Metal Chris, it's cut number 3 from Terry McLaurin. When he spoke out of the Easton's Automotive shoot, he spoke about how he was going to approach training camp. Take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't decided that yet. I'm trying to take things day by day, and I think that's the disappointing part where I was hoping up until this point things would clear up a lot more than they have, and so I haven't made that decision yet, and I'm just going to see how the rest of this week goes and take it day by day and go from there.
Terry McLaurin continuing to take it day by day. Today, 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, him and Buddy Baker said, let's fire it off. An official trade request coming in. I continue to reiterate, I don't think the Commanders are going to honor that trade request. And here's the thing. You all can't take this negatively either, man. I'm a fan just like you all are. I'm just telling you how T.I. is. They're not a playoff team. They take a significant step back if Terry McLaurin's not a part of this offense. You go argue with somebody you love, not me. Seriously. And I hope you love me, people. It's just an analogy. But, you all got ticked off of me on social media because I've told you this offense without him in camp has looked clunky. I get Jayden Daniels is a certified badass. One of one at the quarterback position. Bonafide top 10 dude already. We're going to see how good he really is. You take Terry McLaurin away from this offense, things become much more difficult. They just do, man. 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Miles out in Dumfries. Wants to chime in. What's going on, Miles?
Hey, what's going on, Lynnell? Hey, appreciate y'all taking the call, everything y'all are doing. Just wanted to say, one, I'm disappointed in the front office. I think the new front office has done an excellent job with everything they've done, but I think they're dropping the ball a little bit with Terry. He's 29 years old. He's not 60, but I do understand how that could be a little bit of a concern. I think this is a purely funding-based decision. I think what he's asking for is probably a little bit more than the Commanders feel comfortable doing, but I honestly think that they want him on the team, and they're going to try to find a way to make it work. I also think this sends a bad message to players who are drafted to teams and stay loyal and do their jobs and basically do everything right. They're sending a message saying, hey, that's great, but we may not be able to honor what you want. So, I mean, I've been a fan since the early 2000s, the Sean Taylor, rest in peace, Santana Moss, Clinton Portis era, and this is the most excited I've been about the season. So I'm just hoping Terry can work something out with our team. But if not, I hope the best for him wherever he ends up.
I think we all wish him the best. But look, the reality of the situation is this. We're just getting started, folks. I said it on Sunday when he reported. I think he was just showing up so he didn't have to get fined anymore. The reality of the situation is this, though, man. Things are going to get ugly, it feels like, between Washington and Terry McLaurin. Because the one thing that is still weird to me about all of this is the fact that he's on the PUP list. That's like the thorn in this situation to me. And it could ultimately end up being the thorn in the Commander's side. Because guess what? Because he's on the PUP list, they can't fine him, despite him requesting a trade and not practicing. They can't suspend him. They can't do anything to him. And my thing is this: if you're Terry, if you're actually, and we don't believe he's actually hurt, but I don't know that for certain. But he doesn't look hurt to me. Wasn't hurt earlier this offseason in the program. But my thing is this, man. For Terry, if he's on the PUP list to start the year, he's got to miss at least the first 4 games. After that, do they put him on injured reserve? What happens with this? Can Terry force them to trade him because he's on the PUP list? That's what I'm starting to question. Because everyone keeps saying, well, he's got to play, he's got to play, he's got to play. Yes, he's under contract for next year, but he's on the PUP list. He doesn't have to play, he's hurt, quote unquote. Will Terry McLaurin be petty and stay on the PUP list all year and really show the team how badly they need him? It's messy to me, man. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. Breaking news right off the top here on The Fan. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, Terry McLaurin has requested a trade out of Washington. We'll continue to react next here on The Fan. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It is at NELL_BTP. You're tapped into the youngest in charge, Lynnell Willingham, taking you up to 10 o'clock here tonight. The one thing, and I'm trying to confirm this, I'm texting right now with former Washington head coach Jay Gruden, because I needed an answer to this question. I need somebody that is familiar with the CBA to answer this. Terry, y'all keep acting like Terry has to play this year. Because he's on this PUP list, he technically can sit out the year without consequence. There's going to be a team out there that's willing to pay him. There just is. But because the idea is like, well, because Jay is confirming, yeah, he can always sit out with injury, but does that help his stance? I would say it helps his stance because he's like, yo, wow. Man, this is all messy to me. Craig Hoffman texting with him about this as well, because I just want to talk to people that are more familiar with the CBA than I am, because this is where this can get super duper messy. And I think this has a chance to get real, real messy. This could get to a point where grievances are filed and all of that. Because he's all PUP. I keep saying, well, he's got to play, he's under contract. He's all PUP. So because he's all PUP, he can technically sit out the whole year. Does that help his stance? Not necessarily, but it could be the route that we're going here with this, man. 1-800-636-1067. I'm trying to look at it from every angle, y'all. We got to break this thing down from all angles because this is tricky. Let's go to Milton out in New York. What's going on, Milton?
Hey, what's up with him now?
How you doing?
I'm a huge fan, but I'm so disappointed. And I'm not disappointed in Terry or Baker. I'm not disappointed in Adam. I'm actually more disappointed in you. You disgust me. I can't believe you sitting here crying and whining about Terry and they should pay him and the receivers look terrible and where will we be without Terry? Out of all people, you? I expect that from like J.P. Finley or something. But you? Like, I'm so disappointed in you more so than anything. Like, we are legit, bro. We are legit. Let's say, for instance, and if you have to be honest with yourself, right? We made the NFC Championship game last year, right? Not too many people go back to back. You know, so what's the worst case scenario? We go 10-7, you know, nowadays, maybe barely miss the playoffs or make the playoffs, lose in the first round, whatever it may be. But we are technically going into a year with house money. You're talking about Jaden Daniels' second year in the league. So what worst case scenario, we get the 19th pick, 20th pick, and actually get a stud receiver. Like, to sit there, and we know, and I keep hearing this, oh, well, Myles Garrett did it, and T.J. Watt did it, and all these guys, and the guy in Cincinnati, can't think of his name right now. Everybody, they put these trade requests out there. IU, they put these trade requests. But we all know when you do that to a team, it leaves a certain bad taste in your mouth for us that's maybe not a fan of those teams, right? Like, we look at Cleveland, like, damn, guys, you really was gonna get rid of Myles Garrett? Like, you really didn't want to pay him? You really didn't want to pay IU after putting up those numbers?
But, Milton, and I appreciate the call, we're at a point right now where I think there is an unwavering trust with this fan base and Adam Peters. We trust him. When I say we, because I trust him too. Like, if they're dug in on their number, they're dug in on their number. I wouldn't fault the organization or look at the organization sideways for not getting it done, because I understand it's a business at the end of the day. Do I agree with the decision ultimately? No. But, like, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, man. Let's go to, I got AA, Athen out in Annapolis. What's going on, brother?
I can't believe that I'm calling in for a second time today to talk to you about this clown show, but I am, okay? It's just a bad look, brother. It's a really bad look for him, and just to piggyback off of what you said, he could sit out all year, but he's going to be 31 next year, and how do you think him sitting out with a bogus ankle injury is the message it sends to the other 31 teams? Yeah, the Raiders will pay him, and Jacksonville will pay him, and Tennessee will pay him. But everyone
Athen, everyone understands it's just a business. I don't think he'll be crushed or have his reputation crushed around the league for sitting out his business. Everyone knows what type of worker he is and what he's gone through here in D.C. Somebody will pay him.
BOOHOO, what he's gone through in D.C. He got a paycheck here in D.C. Listen, okay, his ankle injury is about as legitimate as you and I headlining WrestleMania as a tag team next year, okay? It ain't happening, okay? It's a bad look for him. They did him a favor by putting him on the PUP. If his agent's so good, why didn't his agent go to him and say, hey, you could just, say your ankle's still injured and, they'll work with you or whatever. Okay, they're doing him a favor. It's a bad look for him. He's going to be 31 next year if he does decide to take the whole year or come back for 4 games to check the box or whatever. The team has the leverage. He doesn't. Hopefully it gets worked out. But this is a clown show.
Well, this is the thing, though. You can call it a clown show, but optics are also a part of this as well. You think they want to deal with this? If the relationship between the two sides is unfixable, you can't. It's at the point of no return. If he chooses to sit out this year, why in the hell would they put the franchise tag on him?
Well, because they got to get something
just
for
to be
him.
petty.
He's their asset.
Just to be
he's
petty.
Their asset
because
he's their asset.
You know what putting the tag on him does, though, right? That now eats up hella cap space. That would be not smart on the team's behalf to do that because you're paying for a guy that ain't going to show up.
Hey, according to all these
1-800-636-1067. I didn't mean to cut you off, Anthony. We got a bunch of dudes. We got to run through here. We got to take a timeout coming in here momentarily. Drew is in Tampa. What up, Drew? This is messy to me, boy, because I'm telling you, Terry's going to make it messy. Y'all keep calling this man bluff.
Thanks for taking my call.
For sure.
I guess we could have had any quarterback last year, according to you, and we would have made the NFC Championship. So I totally disagree with your point.
Okay.
Jaden is what makes this organization run. Terry is a great asset for Jaden, but just like any great quarterback, you can plug in a lot of players, even some veteran guys off the street, and they're going to perform just as good, if not better. So I'm on the organization side. I think there should be more blame put toward Terry for the ridiculous ask. He's not a top wide receiver, and to be asking for more than $33 million a year is legitimately insane. And I think it's a shame. I think this puts a bad look on him for his career with us. And I trust Adam Peters. This is what championship organizations do. They don't overpay for middle to decent or average players. And this is what we're doing right now. Back in the day with Dan Snyder, we would have paid Terry $40 million and put a statue out front of the stadium before his career was over. Real organizations don't do this. And so we're going to let him do whatever he wants to say and do. And he'll be on the field this year for sure. And then we'll decide whether or not we're going to sign him to a long-term deal. But, yeah, to ask for more than $33 million, I mean, he's not Jamar. He's not Justin Jefferson.
But, Drew, this is my thing, Drew. This is my thing, Drew. We still, and I know it's our job to speculate and all that, and it's informed speculation. We just don't know what he's asking for. Like, that's the tough part about this.
They've already reported that he wants more than $33 million.
Considerably more was the quote, right? Considerably more than DK Metcalf.
Which is insane. He's not getting targeted 15 times a game by Jaden. And he's not a game-changing wide receiver. I mean, there's games where he didn't even get a target.
Yeah.
And we still won the game. So it's mind-numbing to think that he is being probably coached for the most money, but he does not deserve it. And I think there should be more blame put on him for putting us in this situation. If he's such a team guy, then he should be doing what's best for the organization, and asking for more than $33 million a year is not what's best for the organization to win Super Bowls. So
appreciate the call as always, man.
Taking my call.
Yes, sir. 1-800-636-1067. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll continue to run through your calls. Terry McLaurin has requested a trade out of Washington. I happen to believe that Terry's fed up, and this could get a lot messier than all of us could even see. That's next on The Fan. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. Trying to talk with no sound on. You can tweet at me as well.
I got your back, yo.
I appreciate you, brother. You can tweet at me. It's at NELL_BTP. This is nuts, man. This is honestly nuts. It feels like, and I knew this is how this would go. The moment Terry requested a trade, I knew folks would begin to turn on him. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, right? When you get a sandwich made in Subway, what do they call the person that makes your sandwich? A sandwich artist. I'm doing solo radio. I'm a solo radio artist. I provide you both sides of the coin here.
They're not a sandwich artist. Like, come on.
Well, I know. It's cute, though, right? My thing is this with Terry McLaurin. I understand that it feels like the Commanders have all the leverage because y'all keep saying, well, he has to play. He has to play. Dog, he's on PUP. He can sit out the entire year free of consequence because he's on PUP. But that can lead things to get messy, where grievances are filed from the team to the NFL, and he could potentially get suspended without pay. This can get messy. But if it's going to get that messy, I'm like, why not just trade him? You don't need that type of distraction hanging over your franchise, hanging over your organization, which you also don't want to do if you're Washington, and why you shouldn't let it get to that point before you trade him. You don't want to diminish his trade value either. Because no matter how good you are, once teams know that you and the organization aren't ever going to kiss and make up, the return that you're going to get for said player diminishes significantly. So this thing could get messy, boy. I'm telling you. I think everything is on the table with this, man. This thing, we're just getting started, y'all. Buckle up. 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Paulie out in the 757. What's going on, brother, man?
L to the W, man. Yeah, come on, Lynnell. You being a little harsh, man. They ain't making sandwiches, man. Come on. they blowing up balloons at Dollar Tree. And this is some of the stuff I heard, man. Like, yo, number one, this ain't about Terry asking for 33. This is about the organization not moving up from their number, whatever that number is.
Mm-hmm.
Terry said the Easter Motors thing, he haven't even heard from them. So if he ain't heard from them, that means the last time he heard from them, they ain't moved up their number. And I'm pretty sure they still haven't moved up off that number. And another ignorant thing I keep hearing is you can plug in any receiver. Oh, you can? I don't think you can, man. I mean, who did Jaden go to on fourth down last year outside of Zach Ertz? Terry. Who came up with the big catches on fourth down in the end zone for touchdowns? Terry. Who did he look for the 50-50 balls on fourth down in the end zone? Terry. All right? What happened in the Atlanta game when Atlanta bracketed Terry and they had to go to Zacchaeus in the clutch on fourth down in the fourth quarter? Drop pass.
Yep.
Like, this dude is and it ain't even about, I'm tired of hearing around the league, no, we ain't, around the league, there's a lot of losing teams around the league. Matter of fact, only 14 of them teams make the playoffs. You know what I mean? What is he worth to your team?
Right.
To your team, if you can afford 33 and he's worth it, pay him. I mean, listen, when have we ever said Terry is not living up to any contract he signed? We not have said that.
Yeah.
And you talking about him being 31. 31 ain't 51, bruh. 31 ain't 51.
Right.
And if he does, and listen, I said this yesterday to you, and I've been saying it for a month. Like, this ain't no, he has to honor one. First of all, NFL contract garbage. The front offices don't even honor NFL contracts. They'll cut you in a heartbeat with 3, 4, 5. Look what they did to Dwayne Haskins. He had, 2 years left on a rookie deal, and they cut him. God bless the day. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear about he got to honor. He ain't got to honor nothing.
Hey, someone just this is hilarious. In the YouTube chat, Metal Chris, are you seeing this? We got to get this. We got to blow this up. In the YouTube chat, someone just donated $2 to try to pay Terry McLaurin. Ain't no damn way.
Try to pay Terry.
Is this an Eagles fan?
And I'm mad at the organization for letting it go on this long. If you're not going to pay him a deal, if you're not going to meet in the middle with him on some money on a deal, trade him. Why is it? Tomorrow's August the 1st. We're supposed to be getting ready for the Giants.
And we're worried, and we're worried about this. It's sad, Paulie. I appreciate you as always, brother. We got to get to some other dudes. I want to get to the chat, man. Renee Guzman Iglesias just donated $2 to try to pay Terry McLaurin. This is hilarious, by the way.
Who does that $2 go to? Because I'm pretty sure it's not us.
Wait, it's not?
Pretty sure.
That's tough. I'll drop my cash app. You want to give out some money, Renee? But I want to read some of the people in the chat chiming in, going crazy. I'll read some of the appropriate ones. Taylor Strickland says his agent is a bum and he's receiving bad advice. Life is for the living. 20 types in the chat. Washington is being cheap. This is tough, man. Let's continue to go through the calls, man, because I know y'all want to tap in on this. Let's go to Reggie in D.C. What's up, Reg?
Hey, Boogie.
What's up, man?
You broke my heart, man. I don't know if you seen New Jack City when Nino kissed G Money before he shot him. No, you hurt me, man. You got more trust, right, in Terry McLaurin than you do your quarterback. Man, let's walk through this.
Go ahead.
Let's walk through this, right? The scouts, the GMs, player personnel, they rank all the quarterbacks, right? This wasn't no poll that came out from fans. These were people that's in the NFL, right? Yeah. And they said that our quarterback, Jaden Daniels, is the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. I'm quite sure you saw that poll, right? Mm-hmm. So if Jaden Daniels is who we think he is, right, then will it hurt? Yes. But guess what they were saying in Buffalo when Stephon Diggs like, wow, you don't know who he's going to throw it to. But they don't have a true number one. But Reggie, that's where they was at.
But Reggie, and I'm not trying to like poo-poo on Jaden. I love the boy, man. He is my hero, dog. But my thing is this. Jaden had the success he had last year in part because of Terry McLaurin, and it's not all about the ball finding Terry. It's about the way that defenses have to scheme up against us when Terry's on the field.
And Terry had the same stats with Sam Howell. What's your point?
It's not about the stats. It's not about the stats. It's about it's about the offense and their ability to function without him.
And so this is what I'm hearing from you. I trust my wide receiver more than my quarterback.
It's not that I
serious.
Reggie, look. So look, it's not that I don't trust Jaden, but like I'm gonna be real and be objective and say the quiet part out. Say the quiet part out loud. It was 1 year and 1 season. I haven't seen him sans a number one wideout. How does he look?
Hold on.
How does he look without a number one wideout?
An elite. Terry had, I guess we wouldn't call it elite, but he had a good season one time, right? Can you and I agree on that?
The first time he gets a quarterback, though, Reg, like.
Oh no, okay. So which one is in there? So hold on. So here you go.
Okay. I see what
yeah, I'm not gonna poo-poo on him, but I'm gonna poo-poo on him. Right. But yet I'm gonna use it to make my point with the wide.
Reggie, get on, man. We gotta take a timeout. When we come back, we'll run through more of your calls. Terry McLaurin asking out of our nation's capital. Can the Washington Commanders make the playoffs without Terry McLaurin? 1-800-636-1067. And are you looking at Terry McLaurin or the front office any differently after today's news? Your call's next here on The Fan. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. I am I'm stunned that we're here. I am, but I'm not at the same time. Because back on July the 17th, I said I was beginning to have real doubts and reservations about whether or not they could fix things. Honestly. And now we're at a point where it's like, damn, we're here. And the last caller got me worked up, and we were obviously having a good time about it. I'm not saying I don't believe in the quarterback. Do not get that misconstrued. I'm just saying this offense is not a top 3 to top 5 unit without Terry. And if they weren't a top 5 unit last year, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. And when you come into this year, knowing the schedule that you got, knowing that you don't have to cakewalk down the stretch versus the quarterbacks that you play, let's just go one data point. We're talking about receipts, right? And I hope y'all pick up what I'm putting down here. I hope I'm making it easy to keep up with what I'm saying here, because I've said a lot here. I know it. But there's just so many different ways to look at this. So do I think that, like, Jayden Daniels will fall off a cliff without Terry? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Their ability to function, though, offensively is drastically changed. It just is. And if you're trying to deny that, then, like, shame on you. We haven't seen Jayden Daniels without a number 1 wide receiver before. And y'all just assume that he'll be fine and dandy. Okay, that's y'all looking at things through these burgundy and gold colored lenses. Terry McLaurin and his threat of taking the top off of defenses and what he's done in this league, it impacts how opposing defenses game plan against us. He helps out everybody else. He's a big reason why Olamide Zaccheaus was able to go off, why Noah Brown was able to go off. Terry gets bracketed and gets a safety shaded to his side routinely. And what does that cause? It causes the ball to go to other places. If there's no Terry, I'm telling you what defensive coordinators are going to do. They're going to go man-to-man coverage across the board and say, I dare you to beat me. And Washington don't got the horses to beat people. They just don't. Noah Brown was going up against number 2 corners last year. Without Terry, now he's going up against number 1 corners. You pick up what I'm putting down? There's a trickle-down effect of not having Terry McLaurin. And that's not an indictment on Jayden Daniels. That's just a reality of the situation, man. Point blank. That is just the reality of the situation. It's not an indictment on Jayden. It's not. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. Let's go out. Mark and Largo was chiming in. What's up, Mark?
What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm
Look,
good.
You know what? I kind of think now that he's made this, I think the deal's going to be done this weekend, probably by Sunday, if they can get it done. I do. For now, I do. But I will say this. For all you people who sit up here and say, Adam Peters just knows what he's doing. I trust the front office, really. So where was all this when they signed Javon Kinlaw? Hello. He signs Javon Kinlaw, who hasn't lived up to his name, gives him guaranteed money. Nobody says a damn thing. But Terry can't get his money, hasn't missed a day, and has played crap with crappy quarterbacks, and there's every excuse in the world by the front office, but you give Javon Kinlaw all this money. See, this is the stuff you need to start talking about. But now, seriously.
But they're two different. Those are two different. Those are two different situations, though, because when you talk about Javon Kinlaw and what he's getting paid relative to the defensive tackle market, he's not even a top 15 paid guy at his position. May be
true, but is he worth what? He's overpaid, clearly.
How is he overpaid when he's not? He's top. He's like not even top 15 at his position. How can you say he's overpaid?
He's not even.
I'm about to give you the exact numbers.
People didn't even think he was that good when he coming over here.
I'm about to give you the numbers. I'm about to give you the numbers. Javon Kinlaw signed a deal worth $45 million. It averages $15 million per. In terms of the AAV at the defensive tackle spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15. He's not even a top 20 guy.
Okay,
so you can't complain about Adam Peters giving out that deal.
Fine.
Fine. Here's the problem. No one knew who he was before he came here. And everybody, when he was signed, just like you, just like me, was scratching my head and saying, what the F?
Yeah, I hear it.
But we won't pay Terry.
I appreciate you as always, Mark. It's just tough. I know what you all want to start doing. Well, you paid everybody else. Why didn't you pay Terry? They haven't. Like, who on this team is at the top of the market in terms of pay structure? Nobody. Nobody. So, I don't know, man. It's tough. I trust, what did I say, all draft process, all offseason about this front office, man? I'm a 27-year-old. It hits different for me when I get a real competent GM in here. It just does, because I haven't had that. I'm tired of the Vinny Serratos. I'm tired of the Bruce Allens. I'm tired of the Scott McLuhans. We got a real deal dude in here at GM. At the end of the day, I'm going to trust him. Do I want Terry here? You damn right I do. Do I want him to be paid $30 million annually? You damn right I do. But am I going to turn on Adam Peters because of this? Hell no. Hell no, I'm not turning on Adam Peters over this. Am I raising my eyebrow up at Slim? Yeah, that's what you do. Family fights. That's still my dog, though. Talk about Adam Peters. 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Oko out in Chicago. Listen on the Odyssey app. What's going on, brother?
What's good? Yeah, I don't understand why everybody keep calling the radio talking about Terry's not this, Terry's not that. Before the last call, we had 3 callers call up on the radio and say that Terry McLaurin's production can be replaced and that he wasn't essential to the offense and that Jaden Daniels could do what he did without Terry. It's like either they don't watch the games or they don't know stats or it's both. Terry McLaurin led the league in touchdowns last year. He had 13 touchdowns last year. That was only behind Jamar Chase. Terry McLaurin had the highest grade on PFF on goal balls last year on one-on-one situations. And Terry McLaurin had the highest passer rating when targeted out of any receiver. He had 133 passer rating. Who scored in the Eagles game when we got busted? Who came to play? Jaden and Terry. That was it. Terry scored in every single game in the playoffs. And they keep saying that he's not valuable and you could plug anybody in and Jaden's going to be all right. So who are you going to plug in? What free agent right now that's available to us right now is going to be plugged in for Terry McLaurin? Keenan Allen? Like who?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
If we
I hear you, brother.
Season right now with Deebo Samuel as our number 1 wide receiver.
I'm going to say this, though, bro. We don't got to slight Deebo in the process. Okay, I'm out there every day.
No.
Deebo and
Debo,
Jaden are cooking together, brother. I promise you.
I get that. And I've seen the progress they made in the training camp, and I'm excited about that, right? But that being said, every single move that we've made it under the impression that Terry is going to be here, correct? The Debo thing, that was because we thought he was going to be playing with Terry. The Laramie Tunsil acquisition, every acquisition that we've made has been under the assumption that Terry is going to be here. And, Adam Peters said he wanted to make Terry a commander for a long time. People keep saying he's expendable. Our offense wasn't just good last year. It was great. It was a top 3 offense in terms of EPA per play last year. We were one of the top scorers in the NFL last year. That's not just something that you think that's not sustainable without your number 1 wide receiver. So I don't understand why people keep calling up here acting like Terry McLaurin is just expendable.
Appreciate you as always, man. This is from Diana Rossini of The Athletic. She spoke to a successful GM in the NFL, and they had this to say. Washington is too late. Could have avoided this. It's a game of chicken now. Either tell him you're not trading him, or figure it out. This is getting close to the Hassan Reddick situation. That is from a very successful general manager in the National Football League that spoke to Diana Rossini of The Athletic under the condition of, what's the word? Is it? They want to remain anonymous. What is it? Anonymity? Whatever the hell the word is. You know what I was trying to say. I'm worked up. I can't even speak no more, man. Because this is like...
It's anonymity.
Anonymity. Yeah, whatever. I'm just... Oh, gosh. I'm exhausted over it. Because I've been talking about it since the beginning of July. We knew this was coming. Now that it's actually here, it's like, damn. Eric is in Montrose. What's chime in? What's going on? What's going on, Eric? How are you? You're on. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Lynnell, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm stressed the hell out. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I'm stressing. I'm pulling my hair out over the Terry stuff. I just want my guy in the building. I also trust my front office, so I'm in between a rock and a hard place.
Brother, I've been up since 4:30 this morning.
I don't blame you. I feel you. What's up, man? What do you think?
So here's my thing. If we don't sign Terry, what does that do of not making our team better?
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, like, why would you not sign him, and then all that does is make our team. It doesn't make our team any better. So if you don't sign him and he goes somewhere else, then that doesn't make us any better.
Right, but you also don't want to have this distraction lingering over the organization, and that's what I think ultimately happens. Where we're at right now, man. Where we're at right now, I ultimately do think he gets traded. I think these two sides are dug in. And the fact that he's on this PUP list, like Terry, if he wants to, could blow up their spot and make this thing messy because he's on PUP. And I texted with former Washington head coach Jay Gruden, texted with a couple others to confirm this too. If Terry sits out, or if Terry can sit out this year pretty much consequence-free because of the quote-unquote ankle injury that he brought to the table. So their heels are dug in. I don't know, man. It's tough for me. It's tough for me, man. 1-800-636-1067. I'm trying to take my emotions out of it because I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I love this team more than I love Terry. But, damn, I love me some Terry McLaurin. And I thought this year was going to be Super Bowl vibes, man. I'm telling you now, we ain't going to no damn Super Bowl without Terry McLaurin. Point blank. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. Warrior calls next here on The Fan. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You tapped into the youngest in charge, Lynnell Willingham, taking it up to 10 o'clock. Breaking news here on The Fan. Terry McLaurin officially requesting a trade from the Washington Commanders. We're reacting to that here on the final hour of the program. If you're tapping in with us on YouTube, welcome. Get active in the chat. We'll read some of the appropriate comments that we can read here on air as we roll throughout this final hour of the show. Man, this is a tough spot to be in, man, because I understand both sides of the argument. I get where Terry's coming from, wanting to get paid. I get it. The market dictates a player's value, man. He feels like he's being lowballed by the organization. He's well within his rights to feel that way. From Adam Peters and company's stance, they probably looking at this thing like, hey, bro, I'm at a point where paying him that type of money don't make sense for us. We want him here, but not at that number. I'm not turning on Adam Peters, though, during this situation, because I begged and pleaded for an Adam Peters. We've seen Terry McLaurin before come through this organization respectfully. We have. What was Santana Moss wore it on his sleeve for years, too, on some bad teams. It was still lit and legit. I haven't had an Adam Peters yet, man. I haven't had a GM that I have unwavering confidence in. I just haven't. See, the thing that's getting me, though, is like, this is where you all, like, fan out and lose your mind. Jaden Daniels is an elite quarterback. I firmly believe that. I think we all know that. But, like, Terry McLaurin makes his life a hell of a lot easier. He makes this offense's life a hell of a lot easier because teams got a game plan for him and scheme around him. This is what we're seeing right now is what we've been begging for years. A real GM doing real GM things. So I'm not stunned that they're not caving. I don't expect them to honor the trade request either. Here is the scenario, though, that I think he does get traded because I foresee this getting messy. Because Terry not playing around with them, man. They're not. He's not. This is how it gets messy. He's on the physically unable to perform list with an ankle injury that we all know is bogus. If the Commanders decide to call his bluff on that and file a grievance and take him off the list, and it could get messy that way. Because like I continue to reiterate, if they leave him on that PUP list, which the only way you're supposed to come off a PUP is if you're deemed healthy. If Terry's saying he's not healthy, the team can't make him come off the PUP list, can they? Because he's on PUP, he can sit out really the entirety of the season without consequence. And that's when this thing gets super interesting because grievances can get filed and all of that. Like, that's where it could get messy. And that's where, if you're Washington, look, man, like, it's a situation to me where if you're the Commanders, if it gets that messy, you've got to trade him because you don't want that hanging over your organization. Let's go to Jimmy in Capitol Heights. What's chime in? What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, what's up, brother?
How you doing?
At the end of the day, Terry McLaurin is going to stand wherever he goes. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what team he go to, if he gets traded. But at the end of the day, the Commanders got enough money to make this deal get done. But my point is this: why now? I don't blame Terry. I don't blame the organization. I blame his agent. Why now? Was Terry asking for money when we had losing season?
So we go to the NFC championship, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. No, they should have been. His agent should have been asked for that money. I don't blame.
You've got that hanging.
Jimmy, I appreciate the call, but this is I'm distraught over it because I'm like, if he's not there, I just know this season's not going to be what I know it has the potential to be with him there. Daryl is in Woodbridge. Wants to chime in. What's going on?
Hey, man, congratulations on the show. I'll be listening all the time.
Appreciate you.
Man, one thing I'm curious about, though, is everybody has this unwavering belief in Adam Peters. Like, if you were so sold on not signing Terry McLaurin 2 years ago when you drafted Ben Sinnott, when Adonai Mitchell and everybody was there, why didn't you go draft a receiver to start training his replacement then? Not only that, people talk about like Jaden can do it without Terry. Tom Brady is arguably one of the greatest receivers of all time. People were his last season in New England, people swore up and down he was washed. Once he went to Tampa, he looked great again. Like, I don't care how good of a quarterback you are, you need weapons in the NFL. As a matter of fact, if you want to be honest, go look at what Tampa did to Philly last year when A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were out. The same Philly team that was Super Bowl champions looked mediocre and weak without wide receivers. You still got they got a much stronger running game than we have, but when you don't have receivers and you can crowd the box, good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate the call as always. So the one thing I would say about this Commanders offense and their ability to function without Terry McLaurin, I know it's looked bad in training camp, but the one thing that you can't take into account while in camp is the impact of this Commanders running attack with a dynamic athlete under center like Jaden Daniels. So this is the thing that gets me like, I'm stumped on it, honestly. Like I'm real live stumped. Because I know how defensive coordinators are going to view this team minus Terry McLaurin. They're going to say, okay, we're going to stack the box, and we're going to play man-to-man coverage across the board. If you do that, though, Jaden Daniels is going to run wild. You can't turn your back to a freakazoid athlete like Jaden Daniels. He's going to go get loose. But also, like, if you're an opposing defense, like, that's how you're going to defend Washington, because they don't have guys that can consistently beat one-on-one coverage and separate and get open. And any quarterback needs that. Jason is in Laurel, wants to chime in. What's going on, Jason?
Hey, Lynnell, what's up, man? It was crazy tonight. 45 minutes just to call in. It's crazy.
It's a lot of people on hold, man.
Listen, first of all, I'm all for anyone wanting to play man defense against us last year. Look up Jaden against man defense. It doesn't go well for the defense. But I got 2 points. You've given me a lot of grace, and calls sometimes saying, hey, well, that's a good point, Jason. I got 2 great points for you, I think. I went through a horrible divorce, and I wanted my lawyer to bash my first wife in court. And my lawyer looked at me and said, Jason, I'm not doing that. Judges don't like that. I'm not doing it. And I listened to the adult in the room, and we went to court, and she didn't bash my first wife. And my first wife's lawyer tried to bash me. It didn't go well for them. I think Terry's agent is doing a major faux pas here and is not an adult in the room. I get that Terry wants as much money as he wants, and Terry should think he's worth $90 million. But what Adam Peters and reality and all that is nothing else. So he needs to listen to an adult in the room, and maybe he doesn't have an adult in the room. The second thing is I think that's what's dangerous about this, and I think your fears are real. And what people need to realize is if this gets ugly and nasty and he stays on this PUP list all day, I don't think people realize what that might do not only to Terry, but the league rules. They might change the league rules. If there's been a mistake in this, the mistake was putting him on the PUP, because now they've given him a chance to kind of hold our feet to the fire.
And I think that is that's the quiet part out loud here, and the part of this that's messy, because he is on the PUP list. This is my thing. Why did they put him on PUP? To me, I look at them putting him on PUP as like a incentive to get him to come to the building. We're not going to fine you. You don't have to participate because we know you don't want to risk injury, so we'll say you're on PUP. If he turns around and says, I'm not coming off of the PUP until I get a new deal, then grievances can get filed, and this can become super duper messy. And that's my fear in this entire situation, is that it could get that messy. If it does get that messy, I think a trade happens because Washington's not going to want to deal with that distraction. Kyle is in Rockville, wants to chime in. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Lynnell. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
The call. I called you a couple of weeks ago, and I told you about how we as a town love mediocrity. We love our 2019 World Series, and we can tolerate failure. We love our 2018 Stanley Cup, and we can tolerate failure. Here we are saying how you just said it, Lynnell. I got to call you out on it. You said Kyle is, or Adam Peters is a legitimate GM. What makes you think he's a legitimate GM? He drafted JD. My 89-year-old grandmother who can't even spell football could have drafted JD. He drafted a McCaffrey who got 15 receptions last year. He traded for Lattimore. Like, what has he done that makes him so great? If he was a legitimate GM, he would have played hardball with our number one receiver, knowing we had a second number one receiver lined up. He played hardball with no cards.
I don't think they saw this getting this messy, for one. And then two, I'm not going to sit here and act like, to try and minimize what Adam Peters has done here is tomfoolery, brother. Like, he brought in Dan Quinn. He hired Dan Quinn, who is since changed the culture here in D.C. That was the most important thing he did outside of the quarterback.
Changing the culture by dropping an F-bomb.
Outside of the quarterback. Like, that's let's go to Warren out in Maryland. Let's go to Warren. Warren. You got to turn your radio down if you're coming on, brother. Let's go to Coach Lee out in D.C. What's going on?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
This Terry thing that got me fighting with my brother. So stuff, man. I mean, look, this is a logical situation, and I believe Terry has brought so much emotion to it. He feels like he's being disrespected. He feels like they don't want to pay him what he's worth. And I blame that on the agent, because I think the agent is stoking the emotional fire instead of putting it out and say, hey, let's really talk about this. You know, and then the other thing is that the receiving core that we have is unknown, right? And it's up to the coaches to put the scheme together to put them in position where they can be the best of them. And that's what Dan Quinn and Kingsbury do. So if we don't have Terry, I feel like we're going to be fine, because we're going to find the best way to get the ball to, because we still have weapons. You know,
we have weapons, but to act like they're weapons, but they're unproven or average. Jalen Lane could end up being great. I don't know that yet. He hasn't busted a grape yet in the National Football League. This past Sunday in camp was the first day, and he's stacked multiple good days since, and he actually had a hell of a day earlier today. And we would be able to get to that if we could. We would be able to get to that if we can get off of this Terry thing as I try to empty out my training camp notebook. Jalen Lane had a day today, but like he's young, he's unproven. The receiving core without Terry McLaurin is average to below average at best, and I don't want my young quarterback going into a all-important sophomore year down weapons because the front office is being cheap. Like that's a tough pill for me to swallow. But at the same time, I get where Adam Peters and company is coming from. I get it. This is what's so tricky about all of this is both sides have very legitimate points that they're making. That's why negotiations are hard. They're nasty. They're ugly. They can burn bridges. And right now, feels like the bridge between Washington and Terry McLaurin is burning on down. Let's go to John in Newburgh. Wants to chime in. What's up, John?
Hey, Lynnell, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
I've talked to you a couple times during the past couple of weeks about this, but I think Terry's agent is in over his head. I think he's probably asking for way too much money. I think he pumped Terry up to the point of, hey, the Commanders love you, etc. They're going to roll over and play dead for you, give you what you want. And that's not the case. We have a real GM now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we talked about before, about whether if Terry can be knocked down a couple notches, whether he can recover from that and still play for our team. I mean, that's I think Adam ought to just go in with him like tomorrow. It's just say, hey, we're going to go sit in this room and we're going to negotiate everything out right now. You know, we're either going to negotiate your contract or we'll work out the trade.
Yeah, I think there's only so many different ways they can go with this. The one thing that I'm curious about, and this will show how Washington feels about the whole situation, if the Commanders allow Terry McLaurin to go out and talk to other teams in terms of seeing what they would offer him contractually, then maybe they are comfortable with moving on. Garrett is in Arlington. What's chime in? What's going on, Garrett?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Let me say a couple of things, if you allow me here. This is what bothers me the most. I mean, the deal is going to get done sooner or later. But throughout the draft, every general manager talk about high character guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing they're looking for. And then you got Terry, on the other hand, who been here for 5 years, never miss a game. Come free agent, you go ahead and sign somebody's, product like the guy we got from just the defensive tackle, Kinlaw.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that dude got overpaid without playing a snap for Washington. I can tell you that.
Yeah, y'all got to stop saying Javon Kinlaw is overpaid. He's like the 19th or 20th highest paid defensive tackle in the game. He's not overpaid.
I understand that. What I'm trying to say, if you let me finish, if you minimize the payment right there, you could have used it on Terry, so you don't have to go through this. What scares me the most is when you drag this thing, I hope and I pray to God, whatever happened in San Francisco won't happen. Like you sign him at the last minute and then he hurts himself out for a season.
Yeah. Look, we all have. Afraid of. That's my fear too, brother. And that would be the worst case scenario. You know that because we don't want nobody to get hurt. But this is the risk that you run. The longer you hold out, Jared, you notice you become more susceptible to these soft tissue injuries and things of that nature, man. This is a tricky negotiation. I don't think there's any end in sight. The tricky thing for me is him being on PUP. Like that to me is going to, remember I said it. I think that's going to end up being the tricky thing about how we move forward here in terms of a trade. Because I know Adam Peters and company ain't trading him. They don't want to. They don't have to. They don't need to. They shouldn't. Because he's under contract and technically he's got to play. But if he's on PUP, he don't got to play because he's hurt. Whoever kissed his ass and allowed him to be put on PUP, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. I'm telling you. 1-800-636-1067. More of your calls next. 1-800-636-1067 is the number. You can tweet at me as well. It is at NELL_BTP. I want to go back to I want to go back a little bit here and play you some audio from myself. This is 2 weeks ago. I want to get the exact date on this to make sure I get it right here. This is from, I believe, July the 11th. This audio we're about to play from July the 17th, excuse me. So a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to the day. This is what I had to say about the Terry McLaurin situation 2 weeks ago. I am beginning to have real doubts and reservations about whether or not Terry McLaurin and the Commanders can fix things. That is where I stand right now. I am beginning to have real doubts and reservations about whether or not this is past the point of no return. And it has a lot to do with Terry McLaurin's tone from yesterday. And I'll say this, right? I got the chance to watch the press conference that Terry McLaurin participated in. After watching this press conference, there's frustration brewing. This is real. This is not a facade. This isn't negotiating, as some of you all are describing it as. This is a young man in Terry McLaurin that is upset. And for good reason. But I want to steal a page out of my pal Danny Rouillet's book. I think he hit it right on the head. For years, fans like myself, who as a 27-year-old just didn't get to see this organization run properly, for years we begged and pleaded for a real general manager. And now our general manager is general managing, and people are in a tizzy about it. It ain't cute. It ain't sexy. Business is not cute. Business is not sexy. Told you. Like, and it's not about that. But, like, to me, I've long felt this way. Like, Terry's not playing. Terry's heels are dug in. Terry wants the money. Point blank. And I'm not mad at him for wanting the money. I know a lot of you have taken this opportunity to pick sides. But, man, to me, it's pretty simple here. There's no real side to pick because we don't know all the details. We don't know all the details. But at some point, right, if you're Terry, I just wonder, is he willing to go as far as he could ultimately take it? Because realistically speaking, like I said, he's on the PUP list. He does not have to, right, ultimately play this year because he's on PUP. He can say he's injured, and there would be no consequence. At that point, though, I would foresee things getting messy because grievances would get filed, so on and so forth, and then I think it would just make sense for Washington to move on. But I don't want it to get to that point because, like I said earlier, once teams know that there's no end in sight and that, you have to trade the guy, his value gets significantly diminished, and I don't think that's a risk that they want to run. Scott is in Silver Spring. What's up, Scott?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Trying to pick up the pieces.
Let me say a few things. First of all, I love Terry, and I'm diehard Washington fan. So this is a terrible day for me. I think first let's remember when he got his contract, the contract he's under, he was made the seventh highest paid receiver in the league. So he has 1 year left on that. And yeah, his heels are dug in. He's on the PUP list. And, he can play that card if he wants to, but I really think that's detrimental to his reputation. And I think, like you said, when, he can play that card, it can force a trade. But at the same time, I think we have an organization now that is being run by good football people, and they know he's under contract, and next year they can franchise him if they want to. But I just need to say, some of the callers, man, the guy talking about his grandmother could have drafted Jaden and blah blah.
I know they want everybody wants to discredit. Everybody wants to discredit Adam Peters, and I'm not playing that game. Y'all try rabbit ass mine.
We had 4 wins, and we went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Scott. You don't got to plead with me. I know what Adam Peters brings to the table. The folks out there snapping on Adam Peters, chill out, relax. I was there at a point in time during this because, look, I'm emotional. I wear it on my sleeves. You know how I get down. There was a point in time during this that I was kind of frustrated and looking at AP sideways, but I remember the phrase that I coined. We're at the mercy of the evaluator at the end of the day. What AP says goes ultimately. And if the organization feels like they can't pay Terry McLaurin this money, I trust that they're going to have a plan to, replace Terry McLaurin. It may not happen next year. May have to wait until the next year, but I think they will have a plan. The other thing is this too, right? Just because, and I know you're trying to maximize Jayden Daniels in the Super Bowl window, all of that. It wouldn't be considered an abject failure if they trade Terry and then miss the playoffs this year. I wouldn't be looking at things sideways. It's just no rebuild, no progress is linear, right? There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs with all of this. Point blank. Tommy T in the chat says, Terry gives us 60 yards a game. We can replace that. Y'all are so caught up in the production piece for Terry McLaurin. It's not just about the production. It's about what he does for the offense. It's about what he does for the offense. It's how he makes life easier for all parties involved. I'm not going to sit here. This is the thing. Why can't we just agree to disagree? Why we got to trash Terry? Why we got to trash Adam Peters? This is a business, y'all. Take your emotions out of it. Take your emotions out of it. It's a business. I understand both parties. I'm not going to sit here and act like Adam Peters ain't the best thing that's happened to D.C. in a long time. I'm not going to act like that. I'm not going to act like Terry's a bum either. I understand it's a business and emotions are high right now. What ultimately happens with this, I don't know. Let's go to D out in Aldie, Virginia. What's going on?
Hey, man, what's happening, man?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. So at the end of the day, this is not a tricky negotiation. I mean, to be completely honest, Terry is a very good player. He's a very good player, but Terry is a very well-paid player right now. He's been a well-paid player the past couple of years. Terry, the issue is Terry wants top 5 money, and he's not even a top 10 wide receiver, but that does not mean he's not good. And respectfully, man, you really overplay like the amount of attention that he gets from defenses. He's not that type of receiver. If he was, he'd already be signed by now.
What do you say I'm overplaying the attention he gets from defenses? Do you watch the games, brother? They're playing, they're shading a safety over him every time.
If you watch, Lynnell, they're not. I watch every single game. I'm in the stadium for every single game.
When Terry McLaurin gets single coverage,
one covered.
Come on,
when he gets single coverage, he takes advantage of single coverage. When he gets double coverage, he gets taken out of the game. Great elite receivers do not get taken out of the game when they are doubled. You cannot double Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson.
I'm throwing my hands up to that one because you're right. That's valid. But don't say. I thought you were trying to say, well, he doesn't get the extra attention. He does. What he does against it is a whole nother conversation. I totally agree.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, Terry needs. What we need to do. This is just my opinion. Let Terry play the year out. He's not going to get traded, and he's not going to sit out. It wouldn't make any sense for him to do that. He's very well paid. At $25 million a year, he's probably a top 10 paid receiver this year. Then we're not going to franchise.
Go check that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. But we're not going to franchise him because franchising him will be more than what we want to pay him. Right? The franchise tag will probably be 32, 33, 34, 35 million. We don't want to pay him that. So at the end of the day, let him play out the season and then compete for him in the open market and see if we're right. If he goes off for 1,300 yards or 1,400 yards, then we feel good about paying him.
Right. I appreciate the call as always, D. 1-800-636-1067. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, more of your calls next here on The Fan. Can I just be real here for a second? This absolutely sucks. I hate this. I hate this. I feel like this feels like, oh gosh, I don't want to get too dramatic. It feels, I don't know. It feels like the old Commanders, man. I don't know, man. I'm hurt. I am, bro, because I care about Terry. I want Terry in the house. I'll be real though, and I gotta stop. I gotta stop. And y'all need to stop this too. If I'm keeping it honest, the only reason I care about Terry is because I know he's super important to the success of this team and Jaden Daniels. Point blank, I care more about the name on the front of the jersey than the name on the back of the jersey. Honestly, I'm a Commanders fan, not a Terry McLaurin fan. But, I understand that the best version of the Commanders isn't possible without Terry McLaurin. It doesn't exist without Terry McLaurin. I'll be real. You think they beat the Detroit Lions last year without Terry McLaurin? I was rewatching the Lions. It's ironic as hell. I was rewatching the Lions game last night. The Lions jumped out on our ass in that game, man. And I'm getting ready to pull up the box score because I'm reliving it. I can see it now. We're out at, where are we at, Chris? At Honor Brewing Company out in Virginia. I can see it now.
That's actually a pretty fun time, except for the loss. But
well, yeah, the loss stung there. Well, I didn't see the loss there. I actually saw the loss at home.
Oh, you were there for that one?
No. So think about the way the Lions game started. Right? To me, you just need the guy, man. And now I'm starting to get overtaken with emotion here because I'm frustrated because it's damn, the NFL is a billion-dollar business. I hate that we're seeing the making of the sausage, so to speak. That's what I don't like about all this. It's frustrating. It's humbling. Because, I feel like as fans, we want to have our cake and eat it too. And now that we can't, it hurts.
I want another party out at Honor Brewing in the playoffs, and it ain't going to happen without Terry there.
They won't. There will be no Honor Brewing playoff party.
That's what I'm saying.
Straight up. And that's not a slight to Jaden Daniels. That's not a slight to the receivers in the room. I just don't look at this as a playoff team without Terry McLaurin. Do you? 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Anthony out in D.C. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, Lynnell, man? Thanks for taking my call. Long time listener.
Yes,
You're my
sir.
man. You already know. But one thing you write about, Lynnell, you say people have to take their emotions out of it because it's just business. And I know you being a fan of the team, you understand it. We love this guy. This is just not a guy that just blew in, through the wind and played for a couple of seasons and blew out of town. This is a guy that was there through the hard times. This was a guy that was there when he had garbage quarterbacks that's still putting up 1,000 yards every season. Imagine if he had Joe Burrow. Imagine if he had Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Man, Terry McLaurin numbers would be up there with Justin Jefferson's and Jamar Chase. If not better, because I will put his numbers up against any receiver numbers in the game now. And for that caller that said Terry not a top 10 receiver, he is stripping. He needs to look at the tenacity Terry played with, the speed. He catch the ball, the run after the catch. He block on the outside when they running the ball. His leadership in the locker room. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that upsets me about this situation. People keep talking about he's a great guy. He just got married, and he's a good husband, and he's been a great commander. No, forget all that. Forget all that. Talk about what he's doing on the field, because he's proving it.
That's real, though, man.
About none of that.
That's
Don't
real.
talk about no off-the-field stuff.
I appreciate you, Anthony. I know Anthony being dead serious, too. That's why I'm laughing. But, this is just this is so tough for me, man. But the one thing I'll continue to say, and this is a point that I guess I haven't brought up yet, so let me not say continue to say. And this is me playing both sides of the coin here, right? We're the mercy of the evaluator. I trust AP at the end of the day. But why didn't they sign Terry before the start of the season? Why did they wait on this Terry McLaurin thing? They signed Sam Cosmi before the season started? Why did they try to sign Terry? That's what I want to know. I would love to know, like, did they legitimately try to sign Terry McLaurin before the start of the season? Because they gave Cosme a deal. That's the other thing. That's why there's so many details of this that we don't understand. Like, how long have the two sides been working towards a deal? How long have the two sides been talking? Because if Adam Peters and company weren't trying to get a deal done with Terry before the season started, what are we doing here? And I get the idea of, they're new here to D.C. and they want to see guys play before they commit new money to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating, man. 1-800-636-1067. Let's go to Warren in Maryland. What's up, Warren?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good, brother.
How you doing? I'm gonna be honest.
And do me a favor, Warren. Turn whatever you're listening to down. It's coming over there. It sounds horrible.
No, but hold on.
Yeah, we'll throw you on hold and we'll get back to you, Warren. Don't worry. I'm not dropping you. I'll get right back to you. Let's go to Johnny in Fredericksburg. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, man. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just like you, dude. I am like really bummed out. I'm tired of hearing all the Terry hate. Like, the dude is a top 10 wide receiver. I don't care what anyone says. And for the record, I am Team Terry and I am Team Adam Peters, dude. I personally, like, as much as this sucks, I'm really happy that we got a GM that just won't like keel over and just give them whatever they want. Like, I'm very honestly, wow, this sucks right now, and I'm really frustrated about it. Like, I can see where he's coming from because, like, I don't want them or anyone else, like, pretty much anyone under contract, dude. I get really upset about this. Like, last year, I'm not going to play on my deal thing. You know, like, I get pretty annoyed by that. You know, but for the most, like, I don't know, man. It just sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the
sorry,
tough part, bro.
I will say,
Go ahead.
I mean, because, like, I'll say, like, without Terry, wouldn't win any of those playoff games, you know? You're talking about the in-game production, dude. What about that speech he gave to hype everyone up before that? I've been listening to that all month, dude, just, like, missing Terry. Like, where's Terry, you know? But, like I said, if he wants to get paid and if we're not going to pay him, we have to trade him.
Yeah.
And this
Johnny, I appreciate you, man. We got a bunch more to get to. We'll take a time out. When we come back, more of your calls here on The Fan. I'm emotionally spent. I'll be honest. I am emotionally spent by what's happening. Terry McLaurin officially put in a trade request to the Washington Commanders. Will they honor the trade request is a whole nother question here. And look, the only way I see them honoring the trade request is if he threatens to sit out games during the regular season. And at that point, it's like, do you want that distraction around your building? The one thorn in all of this that I continue to believe is that, man, Terry could make this thing messy because he's on the PUP list. And because he's on the PUP list, he's not subject to fines. He's not subject to consequences for not participating. If he stays on PUP all year long, he technically can sit out the season without consequence. I don't want to see it get to that point, but it's a possibility. Mark is in D.C. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Lynnell, how do you see this in your mind? How do you see this ending up? You see him getting traded? You see him sitting out the season? You see them coming to an agreement? Honestly, in your mind, I know you're emotional, but
yeah,
where do you see this ending up?
Mark, if I'm being real, man, I don't know how long you've been listening. I've tried to look at this thing through every angle, how I ultimately think it plays out. I don't think Adam Peters and company are budging. I don't think this trade request moves them in the slightest way. It's Terry McLaurin's last chance to, show leverage. It's his last leverage play. But I think he's willing to take his leverage play a step further. I think the two sides, and this is not being reported, this is pure speculation, informed speculation, I might add, based on the lack of dialogue between the two parties, and based on the tone that Terry McLaurin spoke with out at the Eastern Shoot. I think the relationship is souring. No one's reported that because they're keeping things whisper quiet over there in Ashburn. I think the relationship's souring between the two. And the irony of this is there's a National Football League game on tonight, our first game of the season. They've talked about it the whole damn broadcast. Tomorrow is an off day, so we're not out at the park tomorrow. Saturday, though, we're going to be out at the park, and Terry's going to come out and sign autographs for fans if there are fans in attendance. Terry's going to come out at the end of practice the way he has each and every day, and he's going to get the talk to the media, and we're going to ask him, why did you request the trade? And Terry's going to get the chance to speak, and I think the next time we'll get the chance to blink, Mark, is the weekend of the regular season opener, because I got to go look at the details of the CBA here to find out exactly the dates here. If he is on the PUP list to start the season, he's got to miss at least the first 4 games. When do they have to make that week 1 PUP designation? I'm not sure. But I think that Terry's going to make this thing messy because the two sides are having this relationship kind of burned down to the ground here over some numbers. That's what I believe. And I think ultimately, yes, he does get traded.
Wow. Okay.
Just my thought, Mark. I appreciate you as always. Let's go to John in D.C. What's up, John?
Yeah. Hey. How's it going?
I'm emotionally spent, bro. This is exhausting.
I totally get it, but where I'm coming from is simply this: for the last 30 years in this town, we waited and hoped for real leadership who would create a real elite football operation. Well, we have it now, and this is what it looks like. Every elite team goes through these sorts of contract issues with marquee players. Like God knows, Adam Peters has been through it in San Francisco several times. That's a franchise that in the last 15 years has been to 3 Super Bowls and 7 NFC championship games. This is what it looks like when you're building an elite program. And I think we all just need to chill and let the process work. At the end of the day, what Terry makes is going to be what the market bears. And right now, there are 2 sort of very wide-ranging samples. There's the receiver in Denver who got $23 million. There's the contract Pittsburgh gave for like 30-some million. At the end of the day, I see this working out based on what the market will bear for Terry.
For sure. John, I appreciate the call as always, man. Bill is in D.C., wants to chime in. Bill, I'm interested in your stance. So our call screener wrote, the trade request has been a selfish move. You think Terry's being selfish here?
I do. I think he's being selfish. The whole thing of the hold-in, he's not helping the team, the offense, to prepare to start the season. He's not helping the defense to prepare to start for the season. Right when everything's going great for this organization, finally we have a great owner, a great GM, a great head coach, a great quarterback. We went to the NFC Championship game last year. We have aspirations to do something big this year, and now he wants to pull this and basically take a whiz in everybody's cereal when, dude, you're under contract.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not withholding. You're not upholding your obligation.
Fair.
Okay? The team has no obligation to sign you to a new contract with big money that starts next year in your year 31 season. Okay?
But my thing is this, like, do you not understand where he's coming from? It's a business, man. Y'all can say he's being selfish. Teams are selfish all the damn time. Like, these teams will trade you and cut you in a heartbeat. So Terry's got to look out for Terry at the end of the day. I totally get where he's coming from. Y'all can call it selfish all you want. It's business, bro. It's not being selfish. You do the same damn thing. Desmond is out in Marlow Heights. What's going on?
What's up with you, man? Hey, listen, Lynnell, I'm a diehard Redskins fan. I'm a little older than you. I think you about, 27. I'm
27.
31.
Okay, Bessie. We in the same bracket, though. You see what I see.
I'm a diehard Redskins fan. My mama, my father, my grandmother. You hear me? Listen, these people need to understand. First of all the people calling saying that he's selfish or downplaying his career, whatever, they stupid. Because for real, the top two wide receivers everybody know is Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. For real, anybody, it's a top. The next group that can be top 5 to top 10 is fluent for real, based on which you like. Right. If you like speed, you're gonna say Tyreek. If you like size, you're gonna say A.J. Brown. But we know what I like. I like what wide receivers actually do, which is catch the ball. And he's 9 times out of 10 always leading the league in number one catch difficulty. You know what I'm saying? Catch percentage and all that stuff at the end of the year. But besides all that, everybody need to chill, because at the end of the day, we know what type of man Terry is. And we know that he under contract. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. This is exactly what's going to happen based on these two things. Number one, either he's going to get signed for $30 to $31 million, and that's going to be the end of it before the beginning of the season. Or if he don't sign, Adam Peters, he going to move just like how he moved with the 49ers. And for real, what I really think was going on, Terry wants 3 to 4 years, and they're trying to not get into that. Get into the 3 to 4 year part, because that's when it's going to be time to pay Jay. And I think they're really trying to give Jaden one of them Pat Mahomes type deals, like a 10-year, $630 million.
Look, I hope that's the case, Desmond. I appreciate the call. I want to get through these calls that we have on the line here before we wrap things up. Everybody, rapid fire here. Are you Team Terry or Team Commanders, and do you think the trade happens? Can we follow the instructions? We're going to go rapid fire here. Your answer should be, I'm Team Terry or I'm Team Commanders, and then yes or no, will they trade him or not? Warren is in Maryland. What's going on, Warren?
What's going on? Can you hear me good?
I got you.
All right, I'm Team Terry on this one, only for the simple fact that he's not going to get traded. You don't make all these moves for Jaden going into his second year just to trade your number one wideout.
I hear that part of it. Let's go to Anthony in D.C. real quick. Are you Team Terry or Team Commanders, and do you think he ultimately gets dealt?
No, he's not getting dealt. I'm always a Commander fan, but on this particular issue, I'm Team Terry.
Strong. Jack is in Gainesville. Are you Team Terry or Team Commanders, and do you think he ultimately gets traded?
Man, I definitely Team Terry. He's my guy, man. All my jerseys, I have every Terry jersey there is. But, man, I will say, if he is to get traded, I wonder if they look at Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco, like do a straight-up trade. He's a little younger.
I don't want damaged goods. I'll say that. Eric is in California. Are you Team Terry or Team Commanders, and do you think he ultimately gets dealt?
I'm Team Terry. I do not think he gets dealt, and I have faith AP is going to cook, and we're going to come to middle ground. We're going to get to football.
I hope that's the case. Sam is in Palm Beach. Are you Team Terry or Team Commanders, and do you think this deal ultimately gets done?
Well, first of all, you look really stressed, bro. You got to calm down, number one.
Does I look stressed?
I'm watching on YouTube.
Man, I'm tired, brother. this has been a long one.
I am too. I just had eye surgery yesterday, so I'm sitting here in pain listening to this,
Jeez.
making my day even worse. I'm Team Commanders. I think that if he gets traded, no one has said this or asked this. What are we going to trade him for? To whom? For what?
Oh, I'm sure we'll hear plenty about that coming up tomorrow. I appreciate you, as always, my brother. I'll answer that question here real quick. What would it take for me to deal Terry McLaurin? What type of return do I have to get back? I think Adam Peters and company are going to move with the mindset of, well, I got to be knocked off my feet. I got to be completely blown away by the offer to trade him. And the thing is, is there a team out there that's willing to overpay Washington from a compensation standpoint and then give Terry the extension on top that he's looking for? It's a big ask. Will that ultimately happen and play out that way? I'm not sure. Aaron is in PG. Real quick, Aaron. Team Terry, Team Commanders, and do you think he ultimately gets dealt?
I think it's Team Terry, man. I think he may get dealt, though, for the stance and how public it is.
That's the tough part. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. That's going to do it, though, here for this Thursday night edition of Overtime. You've been tapped in to the youngest in Charles Lynnell Willingham. Keep the conversation going with me on social media. It is at NELL_BTP. I'll continue to provide you training camp coverage throughout the next week or so, man, until we get into the regular season. Buckle up, though, because this Terry McLaurin situation is just getting started.